seasons, we used to ride our bicycles 8 miles out to Cove Lake, up and down the mountains. I couldn't make it up the first hill now. But we would ride our bike all the way out there, we would swim, then we'd ride our bikes all the way back to Paris, under the theory of getting in shape. And I'm sure it helped. But that was Cove Lake was also another wonderful social event. We had a nice pier out there then. Big pier you could jump off of and play tag and hurt yourself diving and things like that.
Cove Lake. In the summertime, that was just a great place to go to. And I remember in high school, whenever I worked for my father in the summertime, helping with the books and things, and so several of us had jobs. Well, the boys, the guys, would go out to Cove Lake and spend the night. And then early in the morning, 6 o'clock or so, a car full of us girls would go out to Cove Lake and swim and have breakfast, come back and go to work. That sort of thing. We spent a lot of time on that big wharf that was out there. At that time, it's not there anymore. But we'd play hide and seek and games under that wharf, and that was wonderful.
There were 2 hospitals as we were growing up. One of them called the Jewel Hospital. The other one's called the Smith Hospital. I think probably the Jewel Hospital closed before we got out of high school. But the 3 Smith brothers, John, Charles, and let me say all that again because I got to think of the third one's name. James. I mean, he's the one that had a daughter in our class.
Yeah, or Patterson's Cafe.
Yeah, I didn't talk much about that yet.
Patterson's
Cecil's
Cafe,
22 Cafe.
Cecil's 22 Cafe. Paul, of course, was in our class, and we would go out there, and they had, booze and tables and full first-class service, and we'd all meet there. And they had pinball machines, which I didn't play, but lots of people did, and socialize. The one thing I remember doing at Cecil's 22 Cafe was one of the girls in the class above us. Jimmy, you may remember her name, but her dad and mother's car was a Pontiac with a straight 8 in it. She was a pretty girl, and I would go pull her coil wire, and she would come out, and I did this only 2 or 3 times because it wouldn't work forever. But she'd get out and she'd try to start it, and of course it wouldn't start. And I would go over and offer to look at the problem for her, and then I would plug it in, and she would give me a big kiss because I'd saved her life from her dad killing her for messing up her car. And it did work 2 or 3 times, but I had to give up on that. Old City Park was a wonderful place to go, and the old lodge down there, the Veterans Lodge.
The Legion Hut.
Legion Hut. There was a swimming hole there, just in the creek, but a lot of swimming went on there. The Old City Park had antique stairs going up to the top of a ridge that you could climb and had a wonderful view. And at night you could go out there if you choose to and be by yourself with someone that you were
wanting to be in the dark
wanting
with.
to be in the dark with. Now, of course, I never did that, but I know of lots of people that did. Or you could go over to the spillway, and I understood that was another place you could go. Or up by the city lake up above the dam. Or up at the lookout.
Called the Ridge.
Or you could go to the old golf course, to the Ridge, that's where it was, yeah. All right, Paris was situated at the foot of Mount Magazine and the mountains, such that for boys that want to grow up hunting and fishing, it was a wonderful place to be. And we enjoyed a lot of that. We actually could go out there and spend days at a time on home-built bunks and cooking over wood stoves, and it was a wonderful experience. We were out in the mountains all by ourselves where it got cold. But that was the kind of place Paris was. It was in the country.